Spray transferring. One of the flashiest and best looking mechanics in all of CS. We see the pros do it so casually time and time again, and you think to yourself, can I do this myself? Well, no, you clicked on this video, so you probably fucking can't. And that's what I'm here for, to teach you how you can perform these types of plays so you can show off all the nasty clips you hit to your friends on Discord. And if you're wondering, why the fuck would anybody listen to this random ass white dude on the internet? Well, I myself am a 3000 elo player with 10,000 hours in this game, and I got no job, no money, no game, and mainly no bitches. And as you can see, spraying is my specialty. I meant to say, spraying is my specialty. And I'm going to teach you step by step how you can master the art of spray transferring. The first and the most important step of being able to spray transfer would be, of course, learning how to spray on a single target. How can you do that? Well, by learning the spray patterns of each gun in the game. We mainly want to focus on AK-47 as it is the most effective and used rifle. Okay, well, how do I practice spray control? The best way without a doubt would be this Recoil Master Workshop map. This map has indicators to show you where each bullet goes as you spray so you can aim accordingly. And if the indicators end up confusing you, it's no problem, just turn them off and you're good to go. Once you practice enough of recoil control on single targets and from various distances, you should now have the spray pattern locked down in your muscle memory. And if you don't have it in your muscle memory, continue spraying until you fucking do, because you won't be able to do the next steps without the main structure. You need to practice the patterns until they become second nature to you, and it's the most important step of this guide, and without it, you won't get anywhere. You need to get the basics down. Okay, now that we have the basic recoil control down, how do we switch to a target and still maintain that high level of recoil control? Well, to be able to do this, we need to know what the entire mechanic is structured with, which is flicking, knowing the exact time of kill, and of course, the recoil control. Now I'm going to explain everything, just stick with me, how to do the mechanic and how to practice all of these at once, but I'm here to break it down so you get an understanding of why you're doing it in the first place. First, we need to get down to the flicking part. Load up into aimbots and put your crosshair away from the bot that you want to kill. Focus on placing your crosshair at random places so you can practice flicking both vertically and horizontally. This step is pretty easy. You are flicking to a single bot, and if you're managing to kill him with the first 1 to 5 bullets, you're on the right track. Now if you kill this bot a couple of times and you seem to be pretty consistent with it, you can now flick away from him to another bot the same millisecond you realize you got the kill. This will help you develop the feeling of time to kill and when you need to transfer. And after you get that locked down, now it's time to get to the actual transferring. The number one rule is not to let go of mouse 1. If you stop spraying, then do the flick, and fire again when your crosshair is on the target, your bullets will go everywhere because your recoil wasn't fully reset. Now that you know this, and you're holding mouse 1 like a true G, you can now begin. When you're transferring to the other target, you are pulling down accordingly to the pattern of the recoil. If your first kill took, let's say, 1 to 5 bullets, you need to continue pulling down until the pattern is at the point where it just goes horizontally instead of vertically. Once you get the hang of this, you will realize that switching to a target after, let's say, 13 bullets, you come to a point where you don't need to pull down anymore and rather focus on where the bullets are going from left to right. This is where you switch your focus from the crosshair to the actual target that you're aiming at. You use the trajectory of the decals to know exactly at what point of the spray pattern you're at. I know it sounds complicated, but if you practice the spray pattern enough, this will come naturally. Now, the best way to practice this is in aimbots. By trying to chain 4 to 5 bots in a single spray, make sure you have SV infinite ammo too so you don't fire any extra bullets that you don't have. After you start chaining these like a champ in aimbots, you can go ahead and load up a deathmatch server. Now, what do you do in these deathmatch sessions? Well, force yourself as much as you can to go for only spray transfers. Even after you kill a target and nobody else is there, just imagine a guy peeking you from behind and you have to 180 spray transfer towards him. It doesn't matter if your KD is bad, you are there to practice, so who gives a fuck if people think you're schizo? When you feel like you're hitting them in deathmatch a lot more frequently, try using crouch. The way I use it, I simply crouch for a split second, then release, and then tap it again. This makes you a harder target to hit. You will need this as you are an easy target by just simply standing or crouching down at the same spot. Be free with it, be loose, try crouching and moving and then standing up, try spamming AD. Master every movement that comes with this mechanic. Once you start to feel confident with it in deathmatch, try to switch over to retake servers and try to search for the opportunities for a spray transfer. You will see how like an in-game scenario will look like. Go into your matches and give it a shot. The more you force this mechanic to be a part of your playstyle, the quicker you will learn. And if you ever feel like your sprays are just not on point, you can always revisit the first step. Go back to Recoil Master and spray a couple of times until you get the feeling back. Go back, revisit aimbots, revisit deathmatch, revisit retakes. And if you still can't hit those spray transfers, just blame it on Subtic like everyone else.